Let me know if you see my screen.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. श्री शुक नाम धर्मसुत तत्कुलपतय पुरुषा भद्राश्व वर्षे साक्षात् भगवतो वासुदेवस्य प्रियां तनुं धर्ममयीं हयशी हयशीर्षाभिदानां परमेण समाधिना सन्निधाप्येदम् अभिगृह्णन्त उपधावन्ति. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, Bhadrashva, the son of Dharmaraja, rules the tract of land known as Bhadrashva Varsha. Just as Lord Shiva worships Sankarshana in Ilavrata Varsha, Bhadrashva, accompanied by his intimate servants and all the residents of the land, worships the plenary expansion of Vasudeva known as Hayashirsha. Lord Hayashirsha is very dear to the devotees and he is the director of all religious principles. Fixed in the topmost trance, Bhadrashva and his associates offer the respectful obeisances to the Lord and chant the following prayers with careful pronunciation. Bhadrashvasas uvacha uchuhu Om Namo Bhagavate Dharmayatma Vishodhanaya Nama iti. The ruler Bhadrashva and his intimate associates utter the following prayer. We offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all religious principles, who cleanses the heart of the conditioned soul in this material world. Again and again we offer our respectful obeisances unto him. अहो विचित्रं भगवद्विचेष्टितं घ्नन्तं जनोऽयं हि मिषन्न पश्यति ध्यायन् असद्यर्हि विक्रमसेवितुं निर्हृत्य पुत्रं पितरं जिजीविषति. Alas, how wonderful it is that the foolish materialist does not heed the great danger of impending death. He knows the death will surely come, yet he is nevertheless callous and neglectful. If his father dies, he wants to enjoy his father's property, and if his son dies, he wants to enjoy his son's possessions as well. In either case, he heedlessly tries to enjoy material happiness with the acquired money. वदन्ति विश्वं कवयस्मनस्वरं पश्यन्ति चाध्यात्मविदो विपश्चितः तथापि मुह्यन्ति तवाजमायया सुविस्मितं कृत्यम् अजं नथोऽस्मि तम्. O unborn one, learned Vedic scholars who are advanced in the spiritual knowledge certainly know that this material world is perishable, as do other logicians and philosophers. In trance, they realize the factual position of this world and they preach the truth as well. Yet, even they are sometimes bewildered by your illusory energy. This is your own wonderful pastime. Therefore, I can understand that your illusory energy is very wonderful, and I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. विश्वोद्भवस्थाननिरोधकर्मे ते हि अकर्तुर् अङ्गीकृतमपि अवावृतः युक्तं न चित्रं त्वयि कार्यकारणे सर्वात्मनि व्यतिरिक्ते च vastutah. O Lord, although you are completely detached from the creation and not directly affected by these activities, they are all attributed to you. We do not wonder at this, for your inconceivable energies perfectly qualify you to be the cause of all causes. You are the active principle in everything, although you are separate from everything. Thus, we can realize that everything is happening because of your inconceivable energy. Vedan yugante tamasa tiraskritan रसातलाद्योन् तुरङ्गविग्रहः प्रत्याददे वै कवयेभियाचते तस्मै नमस्ते अवितते हिताय ति. At the end of the millennium, ignorance personified assumed the form of a demon, stole all the Vedas, and took them down to the planet of Rasatala. The Supreme Lord, however, in his form as Hayagriva, retrieved the Vedas and returned them to Lord Brahma when he begged for them. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, whose determination never fails. हरिवर्षे चापि भगवान् नरहरिरूपे नास्ते तद्रूपग्रहणनिमित्तम् उत्तरत्राभिदास्ये तद्दयितं रूपं महापुरुष गुणभाजनो महाभागवतो दैत्यदानवकुलतीर्थाकरणशीलचरितः प्रह्लादोऽव्यवदानानन्यभक्तियोगेन प्रह्लादोऽव्यवदानानन्यभक्तियोगेन सह तद्वर्षपुरुषैरुपास्ते इदं चोदाहरति. Shukadev Goswami continued, My dear king, Lord Narsimhadeva resides in the tract of land known as Harivarsha. In the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I shall describe to you how Prahlad Maharaj caused the Lord to assume the form of Narasimhadeva. Prahlad Maharaj, the topmost devotee of the Lord, is the reservoir of all good qualities of great personalities. His character and activities have delivered all the fallen members of his demonic family. Lord Narasimhadeva is very dear to this exalted personality. Thus, Prahlad Maharaj, along with his servants and all the denizens of Harivarsha, worships Lord Narasimhadeva by chanting the following mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namastejas Avir Bhava Vajranakha Vajradamshtra Karmashayan Randhaya Tamo Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhuishta Om Shram. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Nrsimha Deva, the source of all power. O my Lord, who holds, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. स्वस्त्यस्तु विश्वस्य खलु प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं वितोदिया मनश्च भद्रं वचदा ददोक्षजे आवेश्यातां नो मतिरपि अहैतुकी. May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious people be pacified. May all the living entities become calm by practicing Bhakti Yoga, for by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of Him. मागारदारात्मज वित्तबन्धुषु सङ्गो यदि स्यात् भगवत्प्रियेषु नः न प्राणवृत्त्या परितुष्ट आत्मवान् सिद्ध्यति अदूरान्न ततेन्द्रियः प्रियः. My dear Lord, we pray that we may never feel attraction for the prison of family life, consisting of home, wife, children, friends, bank balance, relatives, and so on. If we do have some attachment, let it be for the devotees whose only dear whose only dear friend is Krishna. A person who is actually self-realized and who has controlled his mind is perfectly satisfied with the bare necessities of life. He does not try to gratify his senses. Such a person quickly advances in Krishna consciousness, whereas others, who are too attached to material things, find advancement very difficult. Yatsangalabdham nijavirya vaibhavam tirtham muhu samsprashatam hi manasam हरत्या अजोऽन्तः श्रुतिभिर्गतोऽङ्गजम् अङ्गजम् नो वै न सेवेत मुकुन्दविक्रमम्. By associating with persons for whom the Supreme Personality of Godhead Mukunda is the all in all, one can hear of his powerful activities and soon come to understand them. The activities of Mukunda are so potent that simply by hearing of them, one immediately associates with the Lord. For a person who constantly and very eagerly hears narrations of the Lord's powerful activities, the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead in the form of sound vibrations, enters within his heart and cleanses it of all contamination. On the other hand, although bathing in Ganges diminishes bodily contamination and infections, this process and the process of visiting holy places can cleanse the heart only after a long time. Therefore, who is the sane man who will not associate with devotees to quickly perfect his life? यस्यास्ति भक्तिर्भगवत्यकिञ्चन सर्वैर्गुणैः तत्र समासते सुरा हरावभक्ष अभक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुण मनोरथाने सति दावतो बहिः. All the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotional service, devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? हरिः साक्षात् भगवान् शरीरिणाम् आत्मा झषाणाम् इव तोय ईप्सितं हित्वा महांस्तं यदि सज्जते गृहे तदा महत्त्वं वयसा दम्पतीनाम्. Just as aquatics always desire to remain in the vast mass of water, all conditioned living entities naturally desire to remain in the vast existence of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, if someone very great by material calculation fails to take shelter of the Supreme Soul, but instead becomes attached to material household life, his greatness is like that of a young, low class couple. One who is too attached to material life loses all good spiritual qualities. तस्माद्रजो रागविषादमन्यो मानस्पृह भयदैना दैन्यदिमूलं हित्वा गृहं संस्त्री चक्रवालं नृसिंहपादं भजता कुतो भयमिति. Therefore, O demons, give up the so called happiness of family life and simply take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Nrsimha Deva, which are the actual shelter of fearlessness. Engagement in family life is the root cause of mental attachment, indefatigable desires, moroseness, anger, despair, fear, and the desire for false prestige, all of which result in the repetition of birth and death. I think we can stop here. Kutumala brush. Yeah, let's maybe we can stop here. Okay. So yeah, in this fifth canto we can see different varshas with different tracts tracts of land which are being ruled by whom, worshipped by whom, and in the chapter 18 we will cover yeah, quite a bit, quite a bit. Okay. hmm okay. Second verse, it is said, Bhadrashva Uchuhu. He says, Om Namo Bhagavate Dharmayatma Vishodhanaya Nama iti. Vishodhanaya. Shodhana is, of course, to discover. Vishodhana is to purify. Atma Vishodhanaya means who purifies us of material contamination. Hmm. So, in the purport, Prabhupada mentions that foolish materialistic people or persons do not know how they are being controlled and punished at every step by the laws of nature. Yes, so the laws of nature cannot be manipulated. Laws of nature cannot be undermined or ignored or mm, yeah, uh, even one cannot handle. They think they are very happy in the conditioned state of material life, not knowing the purpose of uh, repeated birth, death, old age, and disease. Therefore, in Gita, Lord Krishna is saying, Namam dushkritano mudham prapadyante naradhama. These Mudas do not know that if they want to purify themselves, they must worship Lord Vasudeva by performing penances and austerities. This purification is the aim of human life. Human life, of course, is not just should be interested in enjoyment, but focus should be in cleaning. And of course, when we are clean, automatically we'll be happy. Usually, we are trying the other way. We want to be happy, and for that, we are doing all nonsense and becoming more impure. Because we become more impure, laws of nature make sure that we don't enjoy. Yeah. Therefore, here in this, the foolish materialist cannot understand this. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj points out, Maya Sukhaya Bhadram Udvahato Vimudhan. Merely for temporary material happiness, these rascals uh, Vimudhan, are making huge arrangements and thus they are baffled life after life. Mm, yes. Brahma Sukshmam means spiritual happiness is unobstructed happiness. Uh, Brahma Saukhyam, yeah, not Sukshmam, Brahma Saukhyam. It's coming, yeah. Yasmad Brahma Saukyam Tva Anantam, unlimited. Hmm. This is possible. How is it possible? By worshipping Vasudeva. Hmm. Aho Vichitram Bhagavat Vichestitam Gnanatam Janoyam hi mission na pasyati. Uh, it says material happiness means to have good facilities for eating, sleeping, sexual intercourse, and defense. Within this world, the materialistic person lives only for these four principles of sense gratification, not caring for impending danger of death. After his father's death, a son tries to inherit his money and use it for sense gratification. And anyway, this is already said. Shukadev Goswami is saying, how wonderful are these pastimes of material happiness transacted by the will of the Supreme Lord. In other words, materialistic persons want to commit all kinds of sinful activities, but without the sanction of the Lord, no one can do anything. Huh? And the question is coming, okay, always this question comes. If that is the case, why doesn't Lord stop? Why is Lord permitting? He is the cause of all causes. So even my suffering, He is the cause. My happiness, He is the cause. No. Why, Prabhupada writes in the purport, why does the Supreme Personality of Godhead permit sinful activities? The Supreme Lord does not want any living being to act sinfully, and he begs him through his good consciousness to refrain from sin. But when someone insists upon acting sinfully, the Supreme Lord gives him sanction to act at his own risk. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. No one can do anything without the sanction of the Lord. But He is so kind that when the conditioned soul persists in doing something, the Lord permits the individual soul to act at his own risk. Hmm? In fact, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, sons always outlive their fathers in other planetary systems and other lands in this universe, especially on Svargaloka. However, on the planet Earth, a son often dies before his father, and the materialistic father is pleased to enjoy the possessions of his son. I mean, yeah, there's some details. Uh, but anyway, when the death comes, however, all their plans of for material enjoyment are finished. Vadanti Vishwam Kavayasma Naswaram. Nashwaram, Nashwaram means that is perishable, which is not permanent. Pasyanti Chadhyatma Vido Vipaschitaha. Um, Vachaspati Vipaschitaha. One who is learned, very learned. Um, very learned scholars, yes. That's why, I mean, you may have heard Vachaspati means one who is a scholar who can remember, memorize so much. तथापि मुह्यन्ति तवाज मायया सुविस्मितं कृत्यं ajam natosmitam. So let me offer my obeisances. Yeah, why? Because your energy is very wonderful. Your illusory energy is very difficult to understand. In fact, in the purport, it says the Lord is always prepared to excuse his devotees. But if a devotee takes advantage of Lord's leniency and purposefully commit mistakes again and again, the Lord will certainly punish him by letting him fall down into the clutches of illusory energy. In other words, theoretical knowledge acquired by study of Vedas is insufficient to protect one from the clutches of Maya. One should strongly adhere to the lotus feet of the Lord in devotional service. Then one's position is secured. So, Vachaspati, just becoming a jnani doesn't help. Just becoming Vachaspati, expert in knowledge, doesn't help unless he engages in devotional service. विश्वोद्भव स्थान निरोध कर्म ते हि अकर्तुर अंगीकृत अपि अपावृतः युक्तं च चित्रं त्वयि कार्य कारणे सर्वात्मनि व्यतिरिक्ते च वस्तुतः. This shloka is telling the Lord is cause of all causes. Hmm. वेदान् युगान्ते तमसा तिरस्कृतान् रसातलाद् यो नृ तुरङ्गविग्रहः प्रत्याददे वा वै कवयेभियाचते तस्मै नमस्ते अभित तेहिताय इति. So at the end of millennium, what is happening? Ignorance personified assumes the form of a demon. What is that form? Assumed this form of a demon and stole all the Vedas and took them down to the Prasathal. We know in the purport Prabhupada mentions, although Vedic knowledge is imperishable, within this material world it sometimes manifests and sometimes not. When the people of this material world become too absorbed in ignorance, the Vedic knowledge disappears. I don't know who's that. Adirasa Prabhu, did you ask yesterday or on Sunday? I don't know. We were asking now, how
Yes,
is the
Prabhuji.
Vedas?
Yes,
Huh?
Prabhuji.
And in the Bhakti Vriksha, I was mentioning that, yeah, when we no, I think on in Saturday class, right? When we say we lost something, the object is still there, but we cannot see, right? I think
Yes,
that
but you were mentioning about appearance. So
when did we discuss Bhakti Vriksha day, right?
yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Yeah. And here is the reference. Although Vedic knowledge is imperishable within this material world, it sometimes manifests and sometimes not. When the people of this material world become too absorbed in ignorance, the Vedic knowledge disappears. Lord Hayagriva or Lord Matsya, however, always protect the Vedic knowledge and in due course of time it is again distributed through the medium of Lord Brahma. Brahma is the trustworthy representative of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, when he again asked for treasure of Vedic knowledge, the Lord fulfilled his desire. This is what happened. Hmm. And then we come to the Harivarsha. And in the Harivarsha, Lord Nrsimhadev is glorified, worshipped by the residents of Jambu Dvipa. In the Jambu Dvipa of Harivarsha, the residents of that place are worshipping Lord Nrsimhadev in this way, which is glorified in the seventh canto. It's mentioned. Prahlad Maharaj, the topmost devotee of the Lord, is a reservoir of all good qualities of great personalities. Um, in the purport, Prabhupada refers Jayadeva Goswami's Dashavatara Stotra. In that Keshava Dhrita Narahari Rupa Jay Jagadisha Hare. Keshava Dhrita Meena Sharira Jay Jagadisha Hare. So, in this way, there are 10 prayers worshipping the incarnations of Lord Krishna, Keshava, contain his name in every stanza. Keshava is there. Um, the word Jagadisha refers to the proprietor of all the universes. Isha means proprietor. His original form is the two-handed form of Lord Krishna. standing with a flute in his hand and engaged in tending the cows. Uh, Reference Chintamani Prakarasadmasu Kalpavriksha Lakshavriteshu Surabhir Abhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Samvrama Sevyamanam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. Lord Brahma is confirming that, that Krishna, Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu Kalparvriksha, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, Lakshavriti is yielding all the desires in abodes built with spiritual gems, Chintamani, and surrounded by Prakara Sadmasu Kalpavriksha. Kalpavriksha, desire fulfilling trees. He is always served by whom? Lakshmi. How many? Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrama. Uh, so many millions, hundreds and thousands of goddess of fortune are worshipping him. From this verse we learn that Govinda or Krishna is the Adi Purusha, the original person. The Lord has innumerable incarnations exactly like the innumerable waves of a flowing river. But the original form is Krishna or Keshava. Hmm. So here Shukadeva Goswami refers to Nrsimha Deva because of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was put into great distress. And then this shloka comes, yeah, which we also memorized, and in the purport one can understand the importance of reciting this prayer is mentioned. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Nrsimhadev, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possesses nails and teeth just like thunderbolt, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires. Huh? Our desires are demon-like because they are harmful to us. For fruitive activity in this world, please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. Yeah. Mm. In this regard, Sanat Kumar speaks the following to Maharaj Prithu. Yat pada pankaja palasa vilasa bhaktya karma sayan grantitam udgratayanti santaha tadvanna rikta matayo yatayopi ruddha shroto ganastam arunam bhaja vasudevam. What will happen if we worship Vasudeva? Uh, Tadvadna riktam matayo yatayopi ruddha. Somehow or the other. Matayo. Devotees always engage in the service of what? Yat pada pankaja palasa vilasa bhaktya. With great devotion at the lotus feet of the Lord, if one worships, can very easily karmashayan gratitam udgratayanti shantaha, becomes free from hard knotted desires for fruitful activities. Because this is very difficult, the non-devotees um, cannot attain. The jnanis and yogis cannot stop the waves of sense gratification, although they try to do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in devotional service of Krishna, the son of Bhajam, Aranam Bhaja Vasudevam. Uh, so, as I said, in this purport, we can see how important it is to practice bhakti straight to the Supreme Lord. Anya Vilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulena Krishnanusilanam Bhaktir Uttamam. The best class of bhakti is not interested in anything else except Anukulyena Krishnanusilanam, to follow what Krishna wants us to do. And therefore, here it is said, therefore we should always offer our prayers to Lord. It is mentioned. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Keshava, sorry, Lord Krishna, favorably and without a desire for material profits. Therefore, we should always offer our prayers to Lord Nrsimha Deva, who killed Hiranyakashipu, the personification of material desire. Hiranya means gold, Kashipu means soft cushion or bed. Uh, Materialistic persons always desire to make the body comfortable, and for this they require huge amount of gold. Going forward, any devotee aspiring to be free of material desires should offer his respectful prayers to Nrsimhadev as Prahlad Maharaj did in this verse. And then again, the next verse is in itself another big one. Swastyastu Vishwasya Kala Prasidatam. Yeah, if you see in our the pure bliss times, um, flyers or in the, what do you call this, business cards, yeah, or we see this is what is mentioned below the logo. Swastyastu vishwasya kalah prasidatam ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मितो धिया मनश्च भद्रं भजता ददोक्षजे आवेशितां नो मतिर अपि अहेतुकी. So it is said that let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always remain absorbed in thought of Him. Then everything is happy, peaceful. There is no envy. One should not have envy to others. Hmm. And this purport is actually a winner, I think, in one of the competitions. Um, Prabhupada disciple, Ravindra Swarupa Prabhuji, he has participated in a conference, interfaith conference, and they were looking how to have a universal peace. And then Prabhuji has used this verse and explained that yeah, we can have peace when everyone are non-envious towards others. And the purport starts with the following. The following verse describes a Vaishnava. The mood of Vaishnava is Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So Prahlad Maharaj is the typical Vaishnava. He prays not for himself but for all living entities. Uh, um, yeah, as I said, this purport again uh, gives some references of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Shikshastakam, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patita Mam Vishabeva Bhavambudo Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthita Duli Sadrisan Vichintaya. Just I don't ask for anything except some dust at your lotus feet. Okay, and then it goes further, the purport 9, it says, some people argue that if everyone thought of Krishna in that way, the whole universe would be vacated because everyone would go back home, back to Godhead. However, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that this is impossible because living entities are innumerable. If one set of living entities is actually delivered by Krishna consciousness movement, another set will free the entire, sorry, will fill the entire universe. Hmm. So don't worry, huh? Oh, after all, Lord has created. If everyone goes to spiritual world, what will happen to the material world? The material world still will be filled by those people who haven't made it in this batch. मागार दारात्मज वित्त बंधुषु संगो यदि स्याद् भगवत प्रियेषु नः यः प्राणवृत्त्या परितुष्ट आत्मवान् सिद्ध्यति अधूरान् न ततेन्द्रियः प्रिय. He is saying, oh, my Lord, we pray that may we never feel attraction for the prison of family life consisting of home, wife, children, friend, bank balance, relatives, and etc. And so on and so forth. Prabhupada writes in the purport, a devotee is not interested in unnecessarily increase the demand of the senses for gratification. Of course, as long as one is in the material world, one must have a material body and it must be maintained for executing devotional service. The body can be maintained very easily by eating Krishna prasadam. Uh, Otherwise, attachment for material things will gradually increase, and senses being very strong will soon require more and more enjoyment, and then the real business of life to advance in Krishna consciousness will stop. The more and more we become sense enjoyers, then we are caught and we are lost. Yat Sangalabda Nijavirya Vaibhavam. Vaibhavam means whose influence is uncommon. Vaibhavam, wonderful, yeah, which is not normal or not common. Hmm. Tirtham, this again, the three verses are very nice. It says, by associating with persons. Very important. If at all we really appreciate sadhu sangha, we may have heard so many times sadhu sangha. What is the benefit of a sadhu sangha is a moment of association of sadhu is so powerful. What he gets is even it's very difficult to be achieved by people who go to the holy places, take holy bath. After a very long time, one may come to that position. Therefore, who is sane man who will not associate with devotees to quickly perfect his life? Again, in this purport, we see the importance of devotional life. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. It means by nashtaprayesha by regularly hearing the Bhagavatam and rendering service unto the pure devotee. uh, what will happen? All that is troublesome, nashtaprayeshu, to the heart, abhadreshu, to the heart is practically destroyed. And loving service unto the glorious Lord, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, simply by hearing of the powerful activities of the Lord. The devotee's heart becomes bhaktir bhavati naishtiki, becomes completely cleansed of material contamination, and thus his original position as an eternal servant, who is the part and parcel of the Lord, will manifest, becomes manifest. So, in this way, we can understand what is the power of Bhagavatam. All the great acharyas strongly recommend that people be given a chance to hear about the Supreme Lord, then success is assured. Prabhupada mentioned in the 11th purport for the 11th verse, you can see that just one, yeah, how much lazy one can be. Okay, fine, just hear. Yeah, one can just hear Bhagavatam, then life is successful. The more we cleanse the dirt of metal attachment from our hearts, the more we will be attracted by Krishna's name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and activities. This is the sum and substance of Krishna consciousness movement. Hmm. यस्यास्ति भक्तिर्भगवती अकिंचन सर्वैर्गुणैस्तत्र समासते सुरा हराव अभक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुण मनोरथेन सति दावतो बहिः. Again, very important verse. This is telling, first of all, devotee association is so powerful. Yeah, we don't have, I mean, it's nice if one can practice devotional service and have association of devotees in a holy place, along with taking bath in the holy rivers, all fine. But here it is said, Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavat Akinchana. Akinchana means without any other motive, if one is fully focused in devotional service. It is said all the demigods and their exalted qualities uh, become manifest in such a devotee. All the good qualities of a great personalities will manifest in him. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Okay, we may see here, after all, in the Western world, we see they are not God conscious, but they are very good. Are they better or devotee better? This is usually a question. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga, forget about being good. Even if he is an expert yogi, or honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, means one who is noble, one who is uh, simple, all these things. But uh, he must be driven by his own mental speculation and must engage in the service of Lord's external energy. Because he don't know what is the right duty, he doesn't know what is the Lord expects from him for his welfare. Because he has to speculate, there is always that he can fall down. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? Huh? In this case, Prabhupada mentions in the purport, Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manasishtendayani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. Living entity in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts and mind. They are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. Hmm. And there is also so much given about 26 qualities of a Vaishnava. All this will manifest in one who is a devotee. And in spite having some good qualities of this, but if he is not a devotee, it's of no use. Uh, and then I think we covered till 13 or 14. Did someone track what? Yeah, anyway, let me see. Although I think till 14. Yeah, till 14 we covered. So, just as aquatics always desire to remain in the vast mass of water, so Prabhupada writes, although the crocodiles are very fierce animals, they are powerless when they venture out of water onto the land. We know when they are out of the water, they cannot exhibit their original power. Similarly, the all pervading super soul Paramatma is the source of all living entities, and all entities are part and parcel. When the living entity remains in contact with all pervading Vasudeva, he manifests his spiritual power, exactly as the crocodile exhibits its strength in the water. In other words, the greatness of the living entity can be perceived when he is in the spiritual world. Many householders, although well educated in the knowledge of Vedas, become attached to family life. They are compared herein to crocodiles out of water, for they are devoid of all spiritual strength. Their greatness is like that of a young husband and wife who, though uneducated, praise one another and become attracted to their own temporary beauty. This kind of greatness is appreciated only by low class men with no qualifications. Anyway, so saying so, here it says, everyone should therefore seek the shelter of the supreme soul. One should take shelter of an ashrama. Here, Vedic civilization, it's mentioned. Uh, yes. In the Vedic civilization, this type of crippled life is allowed only until one's 50th year, when one must give up family life and enter either the order of Vanaprastha, independent retired life, for civilization, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, or sannyas, the renounced order in which one completely takes shelter of the Supreme Lord. Okay, Vanaprastha is for what? Independent retired life for cultivation of spiritual knowledge, because one still is not firm and fixed um, in depending on Krishna for everything. So knowledge is required, and in the Vanaprastha ashram one is acquiring that knowledge, and once he is convinced that I, whatever may happen, let me depend only on you Krishna, and then such a person can enter into sannyas order. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Okay. Yep. Any thoughts or questions?
Hare
But
Krishna Prabhu.
too quick, I think. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for this explanation. Yeah, these are the very famous verses as you mentioned in verse 8 and 9. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya, and the other
Yeah.
one Swastistu Vishwas. So
Yeah.
these
And
verses
also
are
Prabhupada quotes the other 11th and 12th verse also very often. Yeah. These are the qualities that one may have. A devotee has all the qualities, whereas a non-devotee having all qualities is waste. This is also very often quoted, Prabhupada.
yes. So these verses are said by Prahlad Maharaj or
Yeah, the worshippers, yeah, they are worshipping in that Hari Varsha, the
Hari
residents of
Varsha?
that
Yeah.
place. Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
So Prabhuji, like you mentioned, who people who are not devotees,
Hmm.
their qualities are of no use. So we see that people maybe who are atheists, but they are in the business of charity or NGO or taking care of poor people
Hmm.
selflessly. So is this quality not considered as a good quality or
Yeah, it's considered, but it doesn't help him on a long run, right? He is only, of course, getting some. He will get good result because of which he will enjoy some good comforts or good facilities in this life or next life in higher planets or this planet. But it doesn't help him out. So it's one way. It's actually people are getting cheated. To be in just goodness and thinking that is everything is cheating oneself. Yeah. Sometimes we come across, yeah, I've asked, why don't you take to Krishna consciousness? They say, hey, our life is happy. I don't really feel a need of having the Lord. Huh? I am doing good, I am treated good, so why do I need Lord? Hmm? Yeah, what do you say? I mean, it's not that he doesn't benefit anything. Definitely, he goes to a higher planet where he has more freedom from this kind of suffering because he is to certain extent pure, right? Because of that purity, he will definitely attain something. But still, it is said it's a pity such a person who is so close, instead of actually taking up to Krishna consciousness and become successful. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of a spiritual suicide, right? You're getting spiritual identity is to serve the Lord. And some people, yeah, they may think, yeah, Lord, everything is you. So by serving all mankind, I'm serving you. Yeah, if one is strongly convinced that in that way they want to serve, that is okay. But usually people brush it out saying that, yeah, doesn't matter. My goal is only, my priority is to serve people. Yeah, anyway, they are part and parcel of the Lord. So, what's a big deal? So that's why people, yeah, have you heard Daridra Narayan?
Yes, Prabhuji.
The concept of Narayan is a very poor man. Yeah. So all these things come because one doesn't understand the. That's why it said, no, one has to get into the Vanaprastha to understand the knowledge. To have knowledge, to practice bhakti. One if doesn't take serious, then life is gone. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, these prayers done by this Harivarsh, these people of this planet, they see Lord Narasimha face to face, or they worship Archa Vigraha like here?
In one of the purports, didn't we read that only in the spiritual world one can have the direct darshan of the Lord? Hmm.
Mm.
From that, I mean, I don't know a specific reference that did they worship like Nrsimhadev was personally present. Uh, at least they are praising, they are praying to the Lord. So I see this as a deity form because in the previous chapter, this is what Shukadev Goswami said to Parikshit Maharaj. I'll tell you in which varshas which deities are worshipped.
Mhm. But in the next 15 verse, or the next verse was this Ketumala verse where Lord recites as Kamadev.
Kamdev.
So there he is present in that form, I think.
Could be. I mean, maybe I have to read. I haven't read that. Lord Vishnu lives in the form of Kamadev. Yeah, maybe we have to check in the purport. Let's maybe see tomorrow when we come to that.
And Prabhuji, this Bharat Varsha will also come in this 9 Varsha? Or?
We cover that. That come, didn't we cover that, or it will come in the next chapter? One of this.
Mhm.
Yeah, it will say. I mean, I think we already covered that. Um, and if this is also, I mean, I have to read again and connect the dots here because in one of the shlokas, or yeah, when we were going through Bharat Maharaj pastime, there it said before it is called Bharata Varsha, it was called Ilavrata Varsha. If I'm not wrong, I have to check. So, is it the same? So I have a question to check myself.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this Lord Shiva was in Ilavrita Varsha, or?
Yeah.
Mhm. But this is Prabhuji Ilavrit Varsha is not Kailash, right? As you said, it is
No.
Kailash.
No.
Different.
Yeah. not. And if you remember when we were reading about Prachetas at that time, you remember that Lord Shiva came out, and the Prachetas were yeah, the sons of Prachina Barhi. Yeah, they met him. I see that that is the same place, but yeah, maybe if we carefully check and connect those in the context what we are discussing, maybe we may understand better. But here in the fifth canto, we are just giving a description irrespective of a time zone. It is more about a space dimension, not a time dimension. So we have to see what time and when, so then we may know, okay, what time, who was at what time, in which place.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Guruji.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Yep. Thank you. Okay. Then let's close. Thank you. Vanchakalpadabhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi.